what our new Parliament building is going to look like and what it looks like and what it signifies. Joining us is a panel of movers and shakers from across the country. Mohommed Ali Shah, Major Mohammed Ali Shah, Empire Media panelist, joins us on the show. Jyoti Kalra, artist, is also speaking to us on the program. Ali, your thoughts on this? This is obviously a great deal for our country. Now, let's remember, Ali, that this edifice, this building has been made not keeping in mind the fact that, there have been technological changes ever since we got independence, but there have also been changes related to space. There have been changes related to, the expansion of our democratic fabric in the country. There will be more constituencies which will come under play. There will be more representatives from across the country. All of these things have been basically, computed while we were constructing and thinking of what will go inside of this Parliament building. The Prime Minister is taking stock of this situation and, as per the technological requirements, all the Member of Parliament will have computer screens in front of them as well. This is, of course, as we say in colloquial English, going with the flow.
Absolutely great, and I think it's a very, very welcome step, and it is... one more thing I would like to highlight over here is there has been some politics on this from the opposition, but let me tell you that was bound to happen, and it's a welcome step, and I really welcome this step of this new building being inaugurated. But the very fact is, I would say one thing, that one more thing regarding one controversy, as Mr. Jairam Ramesh has said, that the Prime Minister is trying to, that's what dictators do, is trying to carry his legacy forward through the building and all. But I will just like to highlight one small thing without taking any sides of any party, without being very, very neutral and a very, very unbiased view. I'll tell you, even when Congress was in power, it's not that they did not do the such thing. They also, in fact, there was an RTI query of 2012 which revealed that there were 19 stadiums, 5 airports and ports, 98 educational institutions, 15 national sanctuaries and parks, 39 hospitals and medical institutions, 37 institutions, and that was 74 roads which were named after 3 members of the Gandhi family. I mean, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, Rajiv Gandhi, Indira Gandhi. So, which is, that's a thing, sheer waste of money. Well, don't we have in our office? Don't we have a different kind of a cabin or an office for the MD or the CEO? We do have. I mean, even be it in the army, in the armed force, we have a different office for a very senior officer. It's always there. It's part of it. So I think a building like this, it is, as the panelists before me said, yes, it's a very, very welcome step. There's no doubt about it. And then there were 12 central and 52 state schemes. There were 28 sport tournaments and trophies, 51 awards, 15 fellowships. The previous government, they also did that. But here it is something, see, unless and until you, for example, you want to do something good, unless you are neat and tidy, unless you get things in order, you cannot take planning seriously. You cannot plan things effectively. So it was very much required. And it is, people can say whatever they want. They might say waste of money, whatever. But yes, you have to, it's not an expenditure. I would call it an investment. Because it's going to ultimately lead to a lot of good planning. In fact, there was an RTI query of 2013 which revealed that there were 450 schemes which were once again named after 3 members of the Gandhi family, which is, so, I mean, every government which is in power does that. So now, because Jairam Ramesh, he is a respected ex-minister, no doubt about it, the very fact that he has said it, now people will see it as politics. Oh, the opposition party is saying this is this, and this is that. अगर इतना ही है, अगर politics ही खेलनी है, prove it in the elections. Go silently work and go and vote. Jisko vote. See, you are free to vote for whoever you want. We have that democratic freedom in our country. Vote for whoever you want. The results speak ultimately. The results speak who is taking action, which leadership is actually doing what. It shows. So most certainly, when a new office is inaugurated like this, in a new parliament is inaugurated, it is a very, very welcome step, and I think we should all join together to welcome it very.
Absolutely. Well said, Major Mohammed Ali Shah. Ali, coming back to you. Well, the old parliament building, as we are getting to know, is going to be turning into a museum. But even if you look at the new design, Ali, and we are showing it to our viewers as well, there's a separate visitors gallery that has been constructed so that people who want to understand where the action goes on can do so physically by visiting these particular galleries and looking at the action, or perhaps looking at it at a point in time where the action or the sessions are not on. So all in all, Ali, this is perhaps a building which is not only reflecting India's growth strategy, it is also reflecting India's inclusiveness in terms of how people should be familiarized with how democracy functions.
Absolutely. See, in a democracy, again, as you said, it's for the people, by the people, to the people, and it is meant for the people. The people only elect and people only decide. So now, again, coming back to reiterating my previous point, because Jairam Ramesh, the political leader, the Congress leader, had made a statement, becomes political. Rather, I would have appreciated if Twitterati, I would have taken that probably a bit more seriously. Twitterati or social media or a person or a people or awam or the public or janta would have said that, no, it's a sheer waste of money. While I've just said, it is the very fact that any government, tell me one thing. Who would be happy with any boss, any policy, even a company, in the HR comes out with a policy, and there will be people who will be cribbing, leave policy, what they have done is they have taken work from home, or they have taken this policy has been, there'll be a crib, there'll be grouse always, every time with the people, the policy makers. That is inevitable. One can't really change that. Now the very fact is, when we have, like, India has taken the lead somewhere in the international community. When we have people from international community keeping a close eye on India and they're seeing a different building, I think it really reflects very well. Why do we dress up? Why do we clean our cars in the morning? Why do we keep our houses tidy? Why do we build good buildings? Because we want to keep that image, right? Everybody would want to keep. They go and live in a slum. If that is a problem, go and wear dirty clothes, be unhygienic. The very fact, अगर हमें सही सोचना है, हमारा ख्याल, हमारी सोच यहाँ से आएगी ना, we have to think well, we have to function well, and you cannot function well when the basics are not in order. So I think it's a very, very welcome step, and I'm very happy that they have taken this step.
Right, and he also a couple of times alluded to what Jairam Ramesh said, but the fact of the matter is that any government that comes in is going to look at the country and its legacy and its cultural heritage with its own lens. Do you think that what we are seeing in this parliament is perhaps the reflection that this government sees?
Oh, well, I would say yes, in a way. See, any government, whichever is on the helm, irrespective whether whichever party it is, the ruling government of the day, would always have the best interest of the country. Everywhere. I mean, you look at the protests that happened in France because of Mr. Cameron's because of Mr. Emmanuel's policy of the pension plan, the new pension plan. You took a look at everywhere. But what I would attribute it ultimately is a communication thing. When there is good communication between the parties, between people who are, it always is a bridge, actually. So the channel of communication should be open between the government and the people. So any opposition ka kaam hai na, to oppose at the end of the day, whether you do good work or bad work. But as Shashi Tharoor also rightly, he's from the Congress, he has said once that if you oppose something good just for the sake of opposing it, then you lose credibility there. So अगर कुछ काम करना है, उसी पे आपको oppose करना है, then you're losing credibility, I'm sorry to say. But if you oppose something reasonably, if you protest peacefully, in a non-violent manner, without giving any hate speeches, without going on rampage, without being violent, without being... So then I think it is, and I've always been, I've said that protesting is a fundamental and democratic right, and it's always yes. It's very important not to be a yes man all the time. One should put forward your point, but one should not politicize any matter. And I think, and as I said, I'm very happy to see the new parliament building.
No, a new building, it is not only about which government did what, but it is also about the seat of the government. It is also about the democratic principle of expansion. We have a growing population, we have a nurturing population, and in order to meet the requirements, more granular is the way forward for any government.
Absolutely, Meet, 100%, and that is the way forward. And unless and until you expand your internally about accommodating your own team, how will you how would you accommodate anybody else from outside? You can't. So it's not possible. So yes, I totally concur with all the panelists over here And I'm glad we are all on the same page. And yes, most certainly it made a lot of sense. And it is something which is to be looked forward to. And look at the way India is moving forward, Vineet. Right now, at this point of time, as we speak right now, India is not only growing politically, democratically, economically, culturally. We've just won Oscars. Just yesterday, I was with Guneet Monga, who won the Oscar for a film. I was with her yesterday. We have won. We have led the G20 summit. We had the Raisina dialogue recently this month only. We've had the NSA's SEO meeting. We sent our troops. When I say troops, I do not mean the army only, the NDRF, the National Disaster Management Force, and we sent them to Turkey, we sent them to Syria. We did Operation Ganga very successfully in Ukraine, where we got over 29,000 students back to India who were stuck in Ukraine when 15th August 2021, when the Afghanistan crisis was on in Taliban. The Taliban took over the presidential palace, and the government, we had sent our flights from here to rescue people from there, not just Afghan nationals, not just Indian nationals, but from every nationality, where we always say that the world is one family. We always believe in the unity, the very fact, the way we are growing forward beneath, and everyone is keeping an eye on us. Last year, 2022, in the end of, in April.
That's a good point
March,
you make, Ali.
April,
That's a
May.
good point you make, that everybody's keeping an eye on us. Go on.
And last year, we had the maximum diplomatic visits the world would have ever seen of any country ever. We had global leaders, we had state leaders, we had country heads who were coming here. So yes, the very fact when they come here, it's an impression what they go back. Earlier, there was a time when, I will quickly conclude by saying there was a time when people would say, I've come to India, I want to see bullock carts, I want to see villagers, I want to see hungry people, I want to see poor people, I want to see starving people. But now the time has changed. Now when they come here, they see the malls in Gurgaon, they see the buildings in Noida, they see the commercial capital in Mumbai. First thing they go to Agra, the foreigners, and look at the impression they carry back home. So the very fact is the change starts from within. Change starts from here, and I believe the society will not change unless and until we change our own selves. So the people who are trying to politicize it and trying to give it a different color, they should first do apne grivan mein jaake dekho. That is why I initially gave out the data. I said, okay, that is the case. Then what about this? What about that? I gave out everything in a very, very judicial format, Vineet.
Right. How do you respond to what Mr. Kaul said? That, it's not only about where India is coming from, it is also about correcting a lot of, wrongs from the past, that this particular, direction that the government has adopted is essential.
Well, I would say whatever has happened in the past, one should just move on. One shouldn't look back at all. That is my take. And one should just look forward. And the more we look behind and see aisa hua, whatever. In history, yes, it's important to learn history. It's important to know history. But when we constantly live in the past, I'll give a small example. Like, if something bad had happened to me in the past, and if I keep thinking of that and keep remembering that, I would be traumatized. I would live in the trauma. I would not be able to grow out of it and do better. And that will stop me behind beneath. So I have to now just not look behind. I should know, yes, I should be aware that such a thing did happen to me. Like, I'll give a small example about, say, stress. We take stress. And it's very important that nowadays, young people, I'll just deviate for 30 seconds from the matter, and then I will tell you why I'm deviating as well. When we take stress, we say a lot of youngsters today are suffering with heart attacks. And because they take stress, we should not take stress. But I think it's an integral part of our life to take stress. For example, if you're walking on the road and if a DTC bus comes on you and you cannot say, oh, I will not move out from here, ki farak panda hai, I will see what will happen. So you have to take a certain amount of stress. On the contrary, if you imagine the bus coming at you, there's no bus coming, that is stress. So similarly, now whatever the past, the baggage that we are carrying, we just leave it, dump it behind. Move forward, and look for a better tomorrow, Vineet. That's what I would say.
Great points, Ali. Very articulate, very straightforward. Mohommed Ali Shah, how important do you think has been the role of the Prime Minister in basically catalyzing this entire change?
Oh, it's been a very, very good, very, very major role, in fact. But no one can deny the fact that he's a good leader. No one can deny that he connects with people, and when he there are certain things that, a lot of even the opposition cannot many of them, I know, they feel that in their heart of hearts. They may not come out in the open and speak about it, but the very fact remains that he's a great leader. He had a very good hand in taking this forward, and I'm sure, as he said, "Sabka saath, sabka vikas, sabka vishwas," or "Sabko saath leke chalenge." I'm sure the nation is in for very, very good times ahead.